Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world. It is a very gloomy, dark and stormy day here in Bushwick, Brooklyn, but I thought I would sit down and share a little tutorial with you because I just know how much you guys love tutorials. So anyway, this is the bubble cardigan that I am currently knitting. It is a wonderful pattern by Stephen West, and it might look a little weird right now because I've modified the pattern to be steeked, which is another tutorial, another video for another day, but whether you're knitting a pattern in the round or flat and you have a lot of color changes like this pattern does, this pattern clearly has a lot of stripes, but when that's the case, you are left with, trying to flip this on the wrong side for you guys to see, you're going to have all these glorious little ends to weave in when you're all done, unless, my friends, you weave them in as you go. I just want to say that there's probably more than one way to weave in ends as you go, but this is the technique that I've been using for this particular pattern, and it just works really well for me. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So here are my tail ends. I'm going to let those hang out there for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead, taking my working yarn, and knit the first stitch, like so. And then for the second stitch, I'm going to insert my right needle as if to knit again, but I'm not going to knit it just yet. Hold up. I'm going to take my yarn tails, color A and color B, the old color and the new color, hold them together and wrap them clockwise around the right needle. So they're kind of nestled in between my right and left needle, just kind of hanging out there, chilling. They're just getting cozy between my needles right now. And then I'm going to continue knitting that stitch as normal, pulling my working yarn through, being careful not to pull your tail strands through as well. You want those to continue hanging out in the back of your work in between those two needles and pulling it off like so. And you can see here that now your tail ends are wrapped around your working yarn, which is what you want. So you want those to continue hanging out for a little bit, and then you're going to knit the next stitch, and then once again inserting your right needle as if to knit, pausing, wrapping your tails clockwise so they kind of nestle in between those two needles. I hope you can see that. And then knitting the stitch as normal. Again, you don't want to drag the tail ends in through with that. If you're familiar with knitting colorwork and used to holding two strands in either hand, I have a really awesome tutorial for that as well. I'll link to it above. It helps to pretend that your tail ends are your contrasting colors, that you're catching every couple of stitches. So in this case, I'm doing it every other stitch. So knitting one stitch as normal and then catching my tail ends on the next stitch. Knit, catch, knit, catch. So, and here's what it looks like on the wrong side. And you can see that they're very nicely tucked in between every other stitch. I like to do this across maybe 10 to 12 stitches. Your mileage may vary depending on the yarn that you're using. Use good judgment. But once you're done and you have, still a little bit of tail end left, you can give them a gentle tug just to smooth and even things out and loosen and tighten up any gaps that might occur at the beginning of the row. And you can see on previous rows how nicely my ends are woven in. You can't even see them. They're almost invisible, which is really nice. And because they're already woven in, you can just go ahead and clip the ends like so. I could probably clip these even closer, but I want to block this project first when it's all done, just to give it that extra bit of grace, if that makes any sense, in case there's any expanding or contracting. You know what I mean. And that, my friends, is how I weave in ends as I go along. This way I'm not left with all these little scrappy bits that I have to painstakingly weave in all at once when I'm done with a project. I know my sanity will thank me later. I'm going to chat more about my bubble cardigan by Stephen West in an upcoming episode this week, so if you haven't already, if you're new here, welcome to my little corner of the interwebs. Feel free to like and subscribe down below. I put out videos for your viewing pleasure every week, and until the next one, have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!